staring at a headstone for someone he never got to know. A complex feeling for Kevin Porter. His ancestors once lived and worked on this land, now Sacred Heart Church. Some of his ancestors were enslaved. Some were enslavers.
It's a painful history to reckon with, but we can't reckon with the history if we don't know the history.
Knowing the history and honoring those who rest here. That's the goal behind the White Marsh Sacred Heart Cemetery Restoration Project. Sacred Heart Church was once White Marsh Plantation, one of 5 large Jesuit-owned plantations in Maryland. In 2022, the church started finding lost burials, many believed to be those of enslaved people. I visited the church in 2023 as members cleared the land and researchers used ground-penetrating radar in search of more unmarked burials. At the time, researchers believed there were about 500 potential burials on the land. Now they know there are likely many more.
We're operating somewhere around 1,000 burials, probably. It's doubled a few times on us since we first started this, so it's a lot bigger than we thought it would be, and we have to keep going, keep looking.
Father Michael Russo is the pastor of Sacred Heart Church. He and a group of his parishioners, volunteers, and descendants of enslaved people are coming together to research and learn more about the stories behind the burials. Peter Fitzmaurice is a volunteer with the History Committee, a group using death records and certificates, newspaper articles, burial records, and other documents to build a database of names and details for people buried here.
The information on the more modern burials, I'll say, was obviously very well known, but what we've really done is expanded that probably 200% in terms of the numbers of specific names of who we now know who was buried here, dates, things of that sort.
Members of the group take that list to surrounding churches to connect the names on the pages with their descendants, some of whom are members of nearby parishes. So far, they've gone to about a dozen local churches, with more on the horizon.
People are just amazed, to find out about an aspect of their family history and the history of the Catholic Church that they didn't know, that they were a part of. And so it does help to build that community.
A community made up of several descendants of the enslaved, who now get to know their ancestors' stories and shape how they'll be memorialized.
I'm the one that's overseeing and making sure that my family members are well preserved and that their stories are being told, especially being here today, and even to be able to acknowledge them and say their names, that they do matter, that they do count.
My hope is, again, that it really does bring about healing and reconciliation and honor and identity.
Identity that will influence generations to come.
Our vision is for future generations to stand at this site and just know that they have family here.
Leaders here at the church think it'll take at least a few more years to wrap up this project here, but if you think that you have ancestors connected to what was once White Marsh Plantation here, you can connect with the church to learn more. You can visit our website for more information. In Bowie, I'm Brianna Ross, WBAL TV 11 News.